This is the Red Bull Rant podcast. If you aren't expecting adult language, why even bother listening?
It told me to let everybody know that they're being recorded. So
Yes.
So you know now. All right, here we go. From the Bayshore of New Jersey to the shores of the Merrimack River in Massachusetts, this is the Red Bull Rant podcast. I'm back. I'm Pat McDonald.
And I'm Truman, and this is episode 459. I would just want to sing it. Return of the Mac. Return of the Mac.
Yeah.
You know, I was really trying to think of a title. I'm like, oh, wait. Boom. I got it. I got it.
Yeah, I believe it has been a while. Definitely not since last season that I've been on this show. So, yeah, good to be back for a little guest appearance. Jay, unfortunately, is off at the Vegan Bakery convention, so he can't be here. I'm stepping in, and we actually have 3 games
A lot to talk about.
Sounds like there was some slacking going on while I haven't been here.
There was great slacking.
All right, so the first was the lovely 6-2 loss in Miami against Lionel Messi and company, where I believe, what was it? He was in on 5 different goal scoring
5 assists, I think.
Yeah, 5 assists and like a record for the league. And then we also this past Saturday had the 4-2 win at home against the Revs, and then just last night we had the very exciting 4-1 demolition of the Scum down in D.C. So before we talk about this game ourselves, let's hear what you had to say. Truman, let's hear some tweets.
Can you believe there's only a few?
Yeah,
only a few.
Happiness gets nobody types when they're happy.
Yeah, so I'll read off the ones off of the Miami game, and I'll bring up Steven Santos first, just saying tale of two halves. How we look so good, and then the second half we let men or pros roll all over our subs and far superior DPs. My goodness, we got schooled in little time. I want to definitely touch on that second half.
Oh, yeah.
And then our friend Eddie, Pierre Delecto said, is soccer real? Do we need to speak about the concept of soccer? I won't lie, I didn't watch, but I'm not ready to find out how 2-1 somehow turned into that. There's actually a ton to talk about there too, and I want to thank Eddie because he sent us some great videos. One was Emil Forsberg's penalty kick in the Revs game, and then he also sent us a video from the very top of Audi Field down in DC. And I think that was the game when it was only 2-1, I think, at that point. So thank you, Eddie, one of our fine producers, for sending us some good footage of that.
Thank you, Eddie. All right, so let's then dive right into it. Let's start negative and positive. What did you dislike about these 3 matches?
That second half against Miami, what do you point out first of how bad that was? You have to change strategy coming out of the back of your own field against a team with Messi and Luis Suarez and all these guys where you can't just pass the ball up. I think our good friend Jeremiah mentioned that was a time where you had to lob the ball up into the midfield and get into those forwards instead of dancing around, making the perfect pass, because those guys are going to intercept the ball. And right?
That's when you need to do old school high press Red Bull soccer.
Yes, and they just punish them over and over because most of those goals came off of midfield or closer turnovers. It didn't help that Reyes was in the center. He was terrible in that game, but I think you had to look at the strategy saying, okay, you just can't at 2-1, maybe 2-1. Hey, you guys, you have to change it up at that point, and they just got punished constantly.
Yeah, I mean, they were lucky in that match to not go down earlier. I mean, there were plenty of instances in which Miami was getting the pressure on and getting the turnovers deep in the Red Bull zone. And, it was one of those things that, yes, they need to start lobbing it up and pressing more. And, well, sure enough, it did not go their way. So I guess my dislike would be I'll just take that second half and then go into the Revs game where for a very long majority, the Red Bulls pretty much played down to the Revs and looked terrible before they finally got it together very towards the end of the game. So it was just a bad stretch of Red Bull soccer. Fortunately, they have followed it up with a very good stretch of Red Bull soccer. But, it's kind of like the era of good feeling was forgotten for a little bit in these two games.
Yeah, because, again, the Revs suck. And you looked at the Chicago game, and, you had the red card in the Chicago game, a game you probably should have won. You're playing the Revs. You're like, this is a must-win game, and you get that early feeling because it was 1-1. And you're like, give me a fucking break. Like, this game can't finish 1-1 or in a draw. You have to win these games because those drop points against teams like Chicago is what has you in third place right now.
Right.
You win a couple of those draws, you get blown out against Miami, then it's not so bad because maybe you're still sitting in first or second place. Now, third's nothing to complain about. Obviously, the team's playing well, but those little differences go a long way.
Yeah. And it's going to be tough with a team like Miami with all those next-level superstars that this league has never seen before. It doesn't even matter that they're old. Every point truly does count in this season. It's almost like it's almost like Red Bulls are finally good again, but now all of a sudden Miami is just next level. I mean, I think I saw a thing today that like Lionel Messi's contract alone is worth more than the salaries of 25 teams. Combined salaries of 25 teams in this league, which is crazy.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get on to the positives. What did you like about these three matches?
Well, I mean, we could talk about Emil Forsberg, of course, in the wins played well. Lewis Morgan being Lewis Morgan. But let's just talk really briefly about a guy who was snake bit over and over and over. And it's all we could talk about. Pat, I don't know how many episodes you probably listened to since you've been gone, but it was just like beating the drum of Elias Manuel. When is this guy going to score? So he gets the sitter in front of net against the Revs, which is absolutely huge. I mean, I think anyone minus Tom Barlow would have scored from there. And then he gets right at the end of the first half last night in DC that absolute wonder goal on an incredible pass from Frankie Amaya. The pass alone got him MLS match team of the week or whatever. And just catching the goal tower and just sleeping. What a goal. Feel good game for him getting the start in that game. I'm assuming he might start on the bench on Saturday just because of short rest. But boy, he needed that. He needed those goals to get his confidence up. And I think that's going to be really putting together this offense where you have Lewis Morgan, who's just been sensational.
Absolutely.
Now he's scoring. Burke gets a goal. I mean,
that was something else. Yeah.
In garbage time, I love it. And Dante Van Zier, I think, is still going to be good. I know people want to harp on him when he's not scoring any assists, but he's still going to be a good player. He might have scored last night if Burke got him the ball in that last opportunity, but Burke wanted to take the shot. I don't blame you for taking a shot on goal when you haven't played in so long. But I think Dante could have actually had a scoring opportunity. So the offense, right? Offense is looking great. I should let everyone know that Pat is watching the Rangers game.
I just had to contain my cheers.
So I'm assuming it's 3-2 right now is what I'm guessing, right?
I still think we're going to blow it, but hey, you know what? We got one back.
Maybe we'll touch that. We'll touch that on a little bit of that New York sports and the dumping ground. I think that's a great place for it.
Absolutely. I mean, I like just another guy I actually kind of liked who kind of came on last two games could get some goals. Cam Harper, Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Nice to see him get on the board. Just in general offensive explosion that kind of happened in like the last 10 to 15 minutes of the Revs game going into the DC game. Always nice to see that kind of come out and play like that on the road and be so dominant on the road. It's just a really great thing. I mean, and going back to the points they blew, it's good to see them pick up points like that on the road. Because DC is okay this season so far, not necessarily a pushover. So to see such a dominant win is some good news, and hopefully that's some momentum they can carry over into this weekend against.
And hey, they Ben Peke with his hat trick, I think the game before, right?
Yep.
So they were hyping that up, and he got nothing.
Yeah, we got nada bagel. All right, any afterthoughts for this one?
Carlos Cornell, again, I mean, last night he was absolutely sensational. The guy's a star. He'll probably never make the MLS All-Star team, but the guy has been playing lights out. He was also on that match. I think it was the backup squad or the reserve squad of the match day team. But last night he was excellent. He even tried to make a Superman save on the one goal that did go in off the corner. He looked like he was floating in midair, diving to his left to try to make a save. But I think it was 2 Benteke shots. He really made absolutely massive saves. He's been playing fantastic.
Absolutely. He is certainly somebody who is going to be missed in Copa America. I don't know how much your MLS might be playing during that tournament, but Carlos Cornell will probably be on the Paraguayan national side for that tournament. I mean, the good thing is Ramirez isn't garbage. He should be all right, but he will definitely be. Cornell has been a linchpin for this Red Bull team. I guess my afterthoughts. I haven't really been able to talk about the team at all this season.
Go for
obviously.
it, man. Go for it.
So one thing I'll say is, look what spending money can do. Wow, hallelujah, holy shit! You spend a little money and look what happens. You got a competitive team again for once, and also. Look what happens if you're just like getting off the dogma of nope, we press, that's all we do. And now we're doing a little bit different. We're far more we're a far more difficult team to play against because we can give you more than we used to be able to. And that is a welcome change 100%. I do still think they need to spend some more money. I do still think they need to get one more piece in this transfer window coming up.
With you on that.
I don't know if you want to lock down the defense because I mean defense isn't great. It's not as good as it's been in years past. But I also kind of think you get one more creative offensive force, and then you got a team that truly can compete with Miami. I mean, Miami right now is that team to beat, and they will be difficult to beat with Miami with Messi at the helm. That is for sure.
I think you're right. I think you go out and get a defensive guy on the wing, playing the opposite side of Tolkien, who's been fantastic, of course. I think the center's pretty good. Reyes has been very shaky when he plays. Plus doing dumb fouls and stuff. But I think you get a guy like that. I think the midfield is good. The forwards so far are good. Pat, we've been talking about this. It's finally we don't have Tom Barlow coming off the bench as your only chance, right?
Yes.
They have options now. They have options coming off the bench.
Yes.
Whether it's Van Zier or it's Manuel or Burke, now that he's healthy. You have these guys. Cam Harper, when he's not starting, like they have talent. And again, we talked about it 1,000 times season after season. When the press didn't work, they had no plan B. Yeah. And you were 100% correct. They have it. They found it. They know they can't play that hard press all the time. And it's coaching and it's getting Emil Forsberg. It's spending money on a talented player, on a legit captain. You know, if you get that guy, he's not going to score the million goals, but it's having that leader that they desperately had to have on the field. Yep. He's made a world of difference on and off the field with this team.
Yep. Yeah, it really is. I mean, this team is finally. I think it's been 3 years since they were last enjoyable to watch, and it's a full-on welcome return to finally be able to sit down and enjoy watching this team again.
And the fans are showing up.
Yeah, they are.
Right?
I mean, the crowd last game wasn't great, but the game prior to that was a really good crowd. So I'm hoping as it warms up regularly, we'll see more big crowds. And hey, as long as they keep winning. I mean, years past they could. Yep. They put 20 plus in that stadium when they were winning. So it'll be nice to see.
Winning will generate fans, plain and simple. They will come out of the woodwork. They will show up and support this team again. When the Red Bulls are proven, they're going to invest in this team.
Yep. Novel idea. Novel
approach,
wild,
right? Isn't it crazy? It's completely crazy. Who would have thunk?
All right, next is the pain index, which
We didn't do a pain index. That's
okay.
on Jay. Jay's been super busy, but I'm gonna guess. I think we're doing all right.
Yeah, probably not.
I think we're okay this week. I think maybe one. I mean, who can be upset, right?
Yeah,
Can anyone
right.
be upset?
A real curmudgeon. That's who.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
about it. All right, prediction standings, no change. Truman has 7 points. Jason has 7 points as well.
I'll actually tell you there was a quick update because I was in lead, but now Jay and I are now tied because I predicted a draw last night. So we are now tied level.
Wow, there you go.
He's not winning the belt. Don't worry. It's not leaving the state. It's never leaving the state.
Yeah,
Ever.
very nice.
Never, ever.
All right. Well, that brings us to preview for our next game, which is New York City FC away at Citi Field, not Yankee Stadium, this Saturday, May 18th at 7:30 p.m. NYCFC has a record of 6 wins, 5 losses, 2 draws, with a +1 goal differential, 20 points, and good enough for 4th in the East. Recent couple of wins, I believe, because they were below the playoff line not too long ago. Had help from a raccoon last night.
Yeah, they did.
So, that all being said, Truman, what do you think will happen this Saturday in Queens?
Hey, that raccoon got a Topps playing card. So congratulations to the raccoon.
Yeah.
Well, it's not at Yankee Stadium, which is great because the field will probably be bigger than 6 foot by 6 foot. So I'm looking forward to actually seeing maybe a real playing field. This is a team that could switch spots after this game. I think NOCFC is 3 points behind us in 4th. So this game means a lot. It's early season, but these teams absolutely hate each other. We hate their fans with a fiery passion of 1,000 suns. Mm-hmm. The Red Bulls, as you've seen, are not afraid of playing on the road, and this is only technically a road game being in Queens. I haven't watched a lot of NYCFC, but I love the way the Red Bulls are playing right now, minus a couple games. Mm-hmm. Why not win a home game, right? And why not oh boy, I don't want to be generic, so I don't want to be Jay. I'm going to say let's give him a 3-1 win. Let's give him a 3-1 win.
Okay.
It's not out of the realm the way this team is playing. They played midweek and they played great in DC.
Yeah.
And they're practically coming home. They're sleeping in their own beds this week.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't go wrong with that. Like, it's always nice to have a road trip that's really not much of a trip at all. No. Yeah, I'm pretty confident in this team right now. I think I've got a lot of confidence in this team. I'm going to say the NYCFC little winning streak is going to come to an end this week. I'm not as confident as you. I think it'll be close. I think it'll be hard fought. But I'm going to go with a 2-1 win on the road for NYC or for the Red Bulls. I'm sorry, in Queens at Citi Field. All right. Well, that brings us to. Well, Jay didn't give us a prediction, did he?
He did not. We'll get that.
Okay.
Actually, now that we're tied, I mean, if she'd have given it at the same time, I might adjust it depending on what he said. Maybe we'll just pick the same exact thing. I'll force him to pick the same exact thing now that we're actually tied on points.
There you go. All right. So that brings us to the Gotham FC report. Their last matches were a 1-0 win over North Carolina Courage, a 1-0 win at Houston Dash, and a 1-1 draw against San Diego Wave. That brings them to a record of 3 wins, 3 draws, 2 losses, 12 points, 0 goal differential, and good enough for 7th in the NWSL.
Way better than what they were, because they were kind of very sluggish to start the season. As you can see, they are not a goal-scoring machine, but they're a defensive machine, and defense wins championships. Right, maybe again.
That'd be nice to repeat, right?
Yep.
Their next match will be this Sunday, May 19th, at home against the Chicago Red Stars. I don't know if my mic picked that up, but some
homies cruising down your street.
Yeah, he's really flying down the street. Yeah, didn't decide to get rid of his muffler apparently. All right. Red Bulls 2, their last match was a 2-1 win at Inter Miami, a 3-1 loss at Orlando U23. Their records are 4 wins, 3 draws, 2 losses, and that's good enough for 17 points, +1 goal differential, and they are 3rd in the Eastern Conference. Their next match
is it is at home against Cincinnati 2, Sunday, May 19th. Sorry, I didn't put that in the agenda, but there we go.
Not a problem. All right, F1 update. Senna is still dead, so that's all I can update for F1.
So again, it's been a while since we did this. But the last we checked on the Red Bull, they were in Miami, as every other part of Red Bull was down in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Red Bulls were down there. Red Bull 2 was in Miami, and we were in Miami. Max Verstappen wins the sprint on Saturday and actually finishes second in the race to Lando Norris, who wins his first ever race, which is super awesome. I can't get mad at that. Of course, we want Red Bull to win every race, but Lando Norris winning his first, which is an awesome moment. One of my bosses at work likes to shit talk me for watching Formula One because he says the same guy wins, and he goes, "Oh look, Max Verstappen's in the lead again. They might as well just hand him the trophy and drive around for the next 50 laps holding the trophy." And then I came the next day, I'm like, "What happened?" I said, "You fucking jinxed it, buddy. You had to run your mouth, and Max lost. That is on you." But he is still in first place in the standing, so I don't think anything's going to change there. They are in Italy this weekend at Emilia Romagna, I believe is how it's pronounced, where Ferrari will desperately want to win, and they usually don't. Max is pretty good down in Italy. Pat, I know you're going to be locked in this weekend in Formula One, as you always are.
Oh, you know me. I watch that Formula One like crazy.
Absolutely.
Mario Andretti, right? He's still relevant, right?
Yeah, sure. Who doesn't love a good Mario Andretti?
Yeah. All right. Well, then that brings us to the dumping ground. Truman, you got anything for the dumping ground?
Who do you want to start with first? We kind of touched on the Rangers. Now, of course, I am not a Rangers fan, as everybody knows. But how exciting is it right now at the Garden? This has been the time of all times in Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, no, it's been a long time since there's been some hope there. I mean, I thought the Knicks were done after Mother's Day, and so it was nice to see them come back and get a big win on Tuesday night. I mean, the Rangers, they got a power play right now, 3-2, 9 minutes left in the third period. But I am definitely chewing my fingernails off at this series because I feel like even going home, I just feel like losing 3 straight. It's just you got the full-on yips. So I'm praying for a miracle right now that they can pull this out. Oh man, it's been good. It's been good for New York sports though in general.
Yeah, I mean the Garden for the Knicks. I was mentioning to my coworkers that I forgot how much I hated watching basketball because the Knicks play every game so close, except for the last 2 blowout games. But most of their wins are within like a minute in the game, and you're just like, I forgot what this stress was like from the games in the 90s. Like, oh my God, I'm going through it again. But they've been an absolute blast to watch, and I love seeing all the older players coming out. I mean, Stephon Marbury's there.
Yeah.
John Starks is there. Ewing's there. Charles Oakley will not be there. He's still not allowed back into the
still banned, yeah.
But Carmelo's there. I saw Sprewell at a game. Like, the good feelings are back. And, hey, they probably won't win the NBA championship this year. I think the Celtics are really, really good. But if they can get to the next round, and then you get Julius Randle back next year, and Jalen Brunson's there, and DiVincenzo, that's going to be a hell of a team to compete with. So it's been fun. Because, as you know, we're both long-suffering New York sports fans.
Oh, yeah.
We haven't had a championship since 2011, right? I think the Giants.
Yeah.
The Giants. We don't count.
We don't count Blue Team.
No, we don't count. We don't talk about them.
Yeah.
But it's been, the Giants, that last Super Bowl is all we've gotten. The Mets stink. The Yankees usually falter in the playoffs. So right now, we got to enjoy these moments, and I'm absolutely loving watching the Knicks right now. Now, by the end of the weekend, I could be pissed off and angry.
Yeah!
Rangers tied the game.
It's one of those things,
live reactions, everybody.
You see that pass sequence starting to build, and you're like, oh, I think this is going to end well. Oh, there you go. Yeah. So, there you go. That's what it feels like.
Look at that.
That's what it feels
the
like.
good vibes are back. Good vibes are back in New York.
Oh.
And, I mean, honestly, you look at it, I mean, the Red Bulls and the Smurfs both, I mean, early in their season, but are playing well. Took Smurfs a while to get their shit together. But you have a big game this weekend, a big game against the 2 New York teams.
Yeah, it should be a good one. And hopefully this is a sign that I won't have to watch the Rangers at all on Saturday. That'd be nice. Let's get one more. Let's get one more.
Saturday. Enjoy it.
I can watch the PGA Championship and the Red Bulls. Then I'll be happy.
Yep.
Dumping ground. I guess the one thing actually I do have, just because I read the article real quickly about going back to soccer on the soccer podcast. Gio Reyna, because I don't even know how much you guys talk America anymore without me around. But
Not a lot.
Yeah, Gio Reyna had a failed loan to Nottingham Forest. And apparently one of the big pushes for him to go to Forest was his father, Claudio Reyna. I guess he was like buddy with the coach there. I mean, Gio, you got to listen to me. I hope you listen to the Red Bull Rant. Just divorce your dad. Like, tell your parents to stay the fuck away from your career. Like, that's it. Like, if you want to maybe narrow it down to one or two teams, or 2 to 3 teams rather, that you're thinking about, and then maybe like, oh, you have any thoughts? And like talk to them on the side. Maybe that's fine, but don't let your parents make any more decisions for you. All right, or fight for you or anything like that. Because that Nottingham Forest thing was a disaster. Now, fortunately, despite it being a disaster and Gio not playing much for the better part of 2 years, I mean, he looked great in the Nations League. So I'm not super worried about how he's going to look in Copa. But, he certainly needs to find a place where he's going to play and play regularly this offseason. That is for sure, because I truly do think he is one of the better talents on the squad. And he just had a raw deal, mostly due to injury that just kind of derailed his momentum. But I truly do think he has the ability to be a special player. So
maybe he should just save the parent visits for the holidays at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Thanksgiving, Christmas, Father's Day, birthdays. Peace out. Peace out, Dad.
Exactly. I mean, maybe even FaceTime. Maybe you just even do FaceTime for Father's Day.
That's fine. FaceTime is great.
You don't even need to go. Claudio will be like, I'm here for my Father's Day. Like, Dad, go home.
No.
Go away. All right. Well, then that brings us to Pat's betting corner.
Yes, finally it's back. I'm so excited.
I don't know.
I didn't want you to forget about it. I'm like, oh, please, it's not on the agenda. We got to do it.
All right, let's look real quick on Saturday, see who we got. It's so much easier when I use the BetStamp app, which I still use, even though they are no longer a sponsor.
Hey, while you're looking, I'll tell you really quick that apparently Nashville already fired their coach.
Oh wow!
So that didn't take long.
No, not at all. Let's see. I always like to find like the crazy odds. Like I made some money on some crazy odds games recently, where it's like because the great thing about betting MLS is that the bookmakers literally put the guys out of college bookmakers on MLS. Like the guys don't know shit about the league, and so they sometimes have lines that make no sense. See, here's an interesting one. I think LA Galaxy, despite going cross country on the road against Charlotte, are plus 210. I think that's worth taking a flyer on. I think LA Galaxy, they're pretty damn good this year. Charlotte's, they're not bad, but I think that's something where you could maybe pick up some extra money just betting the large, betting the odds there. So that's what I'm going for. I'm going to LA Galaxy.
I like it. I like it.
All right. Well, then that brings us to Truman's terrible team of the week.
I don't want to give it to us, but I mean, we really deserved it against Miami. It's been a few weeks. We deserve it. But you know what? I'm not gonna, because we just beat the scum 4-1 in their building. That makes me feel good. It was so bad that a raccoon left DC, as we mentioned, and ran up to Philly. That's how bad that beatdown was. So let's give it to DC scum. Well deserved terrible team of the week. Well deserved.
Yep. The fair and balanced Red Bull Rant.
Absolutely.
Not giving it to the Red Bulls.
Unbiased.
Giving it to DC. All right. Well, that brings us to the episode. End of the episode. Here we go. You can give us that money at patreon.com/Red Bull Rant, which we want to thank our producers, Jeremiah Dempster, Steven Santos, Eddie Delecto, and Christopher Adamek. Email us at redbullrant@gmail.com. Give us a ring at 973-348-5329. Facebook.com/Red Bull Rant. Twitter at Red Bull Rant. Jay is at Dr. Truman is at The Truman. Subscribe to us via iTunes, YouTube Music, YouTube, SoundCloud, and Spotify. Last words before we get out of here.
2 things. Those Giants Century uniforms are horrific. I'm sorry we didn't bring it up before.
Oh, yeah.
Terrible. I don't care what the tradition is. I don't care that they look like uniforms from the 30s. Good God, it is an absolute nightmare. Good God. So I hope the Red Bulls weren't blinded by those uniform reveals and like walk into Citi Field and can't see anything, because that's how bad it was. What I do expect is you pummel the Smurfs into submission, make them know that New York is red, and we go out there and win.
I don't know. I thought those uniforms there, the Giants was busting out, look really dapper. You know, I tell you. That's right. There's some dapper uniforms, those fellas. Yeah, I think those Giant fellas, they got a chance this week. Yeah.
What the hell year is this?
Yeah. What is going on here? Oh, man, that red and white stripe, that's real flashy. It's eye-catching, I tell you. Yeah. That's definitely a throwback, for sure. And I will also have to say, Red Bulls, let's go on the road and win. All right. So, for Jay Truman and myself, this has been episode 459 of the Red Bull Rant. Thank you, as always, for tuning in, and go Red Bulls.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Lights. All right.
Classic.